So the big thing that's really been grinding my gears lately is my dishwasher. I've been telling everybody about this, and it's a broken record, but man, is it bothering me? So about 2.5 weeks ago, my dishwasher was leaking, and I'm like, all right, and it was leaking out of the front on like one side. So I'm like, all right, I could probably fix this. Shouldn't be that hard. So I thought it was the seal that like goes around the door. And I thought that wasn't like when the door closed. I thought like the one seal wasn't like connecting, so water was like sneaking out there. All right, replace the seal, figure it out. All right, let's see. Nope, didn't work. So then I troubleshoot, and I'm like, all right, let's figure this out. So I take the door off, and one of the things it was saying was the dishwasher float might not be engaging. So I checked the thing. All right, it could have been an electrical short. So I replaced the electrical short. Cool. Then they're saying, well, if the electrical short isn't connecting to the water inflow pipe, the water inflow pipe might be clogged and just too much water is getting in there. I'm like, all right, let me replace the water inflow thing. So I do that. So I basically rebuilt the whole freaking dishwasher. And what it turns out is that when you close the door, it wasn't creating a good enough seal on the bottom of the tub. And it was slooshing out, and just, when the bottom propeller went around, it would just sloosh it out underneath it. And that was just super frustrating. So the piece that like creates that seal, they don't make anymore. So I was like, so I had to go buy a new dishwasher. So I had to do that, and there were some sales for, I guess, Martin Luther King Day. So we kind of had to pull the trigger on it pretty quickly. So I didn't get a chance to like do a lot of good research on it. So we had like the general specs, like we wanted the third rack, had to fit under this counter height because our floors are stupid height, and everything is dumb in our house because everything's stupid dimensions. So all these things, I'm like, all right, well that one fixed the mold, and it's relatively affordable, I suppose. So we pull the trigger on it and we get it. So we had to buy it online. I couldn't even go to the store and buy it. So I bought it online, and there was no option for someone to install it, which was a pain. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to install it. So then I also paid $40 for somebody to haul another dishwasher away, the dishwasher that was broken away. So that was a pain. Because in hindsight, I shouldn't have done that. I should have kept it, and I should have gave it to the guy around the corner who scraps everything instead of making money, instead of paying somebody $40 to take it away. That's a whole other thing. But before I took the dishwasher out, I basically parted it out. I took everything out of it that I possibly could, because screw them for paying $40 to have to take that thing away. That was super annoying. So I did that. So then as I'm installing it, I'm like, all right, I know enough where I can install a dishwasher. You got to hook up the electrical, hook up the drain line, hook up the water intake line, get it in there, level it out, do what you got to do. But because, everything's kind of a pain in our house, where the dishwasher goes, the floor in front of the dishwasher is higher than the floor where the dishwasher goes. So you slide it in and it dips down. And then when you have to try to take it out to kind of maneuver things, you got to like prop it up. It's a huge pain. So I ended up busting up my counter because because the fabrication of the dishwasher, there's like the metal
Don't get
frame.
me started on dishwasher fabrication.
Dude, just
I thought we'd be in episode 89 of After the Close before we got the dishwasher fabrication, but I'm happy you jumped ahead.
This has been grinding my gears for 2 weeks. So the dishwasher fabrication, they've got like a metal frame, and then there's a screw that like connects into the frame, and it pops up a little bit higher. So when I put it in, it like scraped the whole bottom of it, and it busted up the front of my freaking countertop. So I'm annoyed about that. So that sucked. So I hook it all up, and I'm all ready to run it. And I run this thing, and the stupid hose that connects into the drain line dish, like the garbage disposal, starts leaking. I'm like, God damn it. So I basically had to fiddle with that for, a couple nights to figure out why that was the problem. And it turns out that, the old dishwasher line, the way it worked is like you hook it up to the garbage disposal, and it comes in and it goes, and then it goes around, and then you clamp it. So I hooked up the new one the same way the old one was hooked up. Well, it turns out that wasn't the correct way to hook the new one.
Very logical. I'd have done the same.
So I'm like sitting there, and I'm like tightening the metal clamp that goes around it with the screw, and I'm like screwing it. And when I was taking off the old one,
you were screwing it.
Shut the fuck. So I said, what moron? As I'm undoing the old one, I said, what moron put this thing on where the screw is on the top facing away from everybody, so you have to take the screwdriver and go like backwards into it? Like, who does that? That's ridiculous. So when I put it on the bottom, so it was facing me. I was like, all right. So I'm sitting at work the next day, and I'm thinking like, why is that leaking? So in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's leaking on the bottom because I put the screw on the bottom, because now there's a gap where the screw is, so it's not fully tightening on the bottom. So I'm like, oh, God damn it. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just take the thing off, and I'll put it around, and I'll put it on like the stupid guy, who has to screw it around like the back. So I do that. and it still leaked. So I'm like, oh, that wasn't the problem. So I was like, oh man, that was a killer. So it turns out that I just put the stupid hose on backwards. So I had to fix the hose and put it on the other way, and then finally it fixed. So after 2.5 weeks and $800 later, I have a dishwasher. That sucks. That I don't like, because the tines inside are not spaced out right. So all our dishes don't space out right. The cups don't space out right. Everything doesn't space out right. And this is like the thing that has been grinding my gears for the last 2 weeks. I just